Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, Dr. Nasrul. So, my name is Muhammad Aidil Ashraf bin Muhammad Zulkarnain Jiro. I am from 3BNN and my supervisor is Dr. NADIRUL HASRAF bin NAYAN. Today, I want to present for final year project 1 for my project title, which is development of nutritious chicken pellet using cassava, coconut husk, napier grass as an alternative for poultry feed. As for the content, there are 5 aspects that I will be present today, which is introduction, literature review, methodology, expected result, and conclusion. For introduction, the poultry feed industry has researched and refined the essential nutritional requirements of poultry from chicks to adults, chicks to quail, turkey, and others. The feed that is being produced is formulated to maximize the growth and egg-laying potential of each bird. All the feed contains proteins. The amount of proteins can be vary based on the age of the bird or type of bird. Then it usually has some amino acids which are commonly found in animal feed. However, the price of corn itself is currently higher and more expensive, leading to the higher production cost of chicken and egg production. So, as an alternative, cassava waste from local crop can be used to substitute the corn with enhanced coconut husk and napier grass as a feed supplement to the cassava waste itself. As for the problem statement, the first one is the price of corn is expensive, and the solution that for this problem is cassava waste crop has been used to substitute corn as the main ingredient for chicken food pellets. As for the second problem, the cassava must be combined with the other ingredients for formulations to produce chicken feed pellets. As for the solutions, the cassava waste crop will combine with the other material such as coconut husk and napier grass to close the cassava slag in other nutrients. For the objectives, it is to prepare the chicken food pellets using cassava waste enhanced with the coconut husk and napier grass via machine as an alternative poultry feed. Second one is to characterize the physical and nutritional properties of newly formulated cassava, coconut husk, napier grass, grass chicken pellets. And the last one is to investigate the effect of newly formulated chicken pellets on chick growth. As for the scopes, the chicken food pellet which contain cassava waste enhanced with coconut husk and napier grass will be prepared and produced using a laboratory mill machine. The physical, mechanical, and nutritional properties of newly formulated cassava, coconut husk, napier grass chicken pellets will be conducted using moisture content, lipid content, fiber content, protein content, ash content, and carbohydrate content. The newly formulated chicken feed pellets will be tested using broiler chicken and conducting the observation and recording the growth of the chicken within the timeline. Now we go to chicken feed pellets. The pellets are perhaps the most common variety of chicken feed available. It is essentially little compact cylinders of chicken feed goodness. One of the benefits is they hold their shape nicely, which then won't go waste if the chickens accidentally knock their feet over. Then, it is easy to manage. Store-served pellets often become first choice for most backyard chicken keepers. This is the picture of common chicken feed pellets. Why the cost price is higher in market? In the poultry industry in Malaysia is heavily reliant on imports grain, corn and soybean meal. So this made the industry vulnerable to price fluctuation in the global market. The price of grains corn has increased from 700 ringgit per metric ton in March 2017 to 1,900 ringgit per ton. Soybean meal also increased in price from 1,500 ringgit per ton in March 2017 to 2,900 ringgit per ton. This can be caused by the surge in farming input costs, including fertilizer used for crops as well as oil and gas. This has inevitably eaten into chicken producers' profits, so there is a need to start exploring alternatives to grain corn, the main carbohydrate source in chicken feed. This is the picture of the trend for the price of chicken feed in Malaysia, which is for ringgit Malaysia per ton from January 2021 to March 2022. Now we go to cassava. Cassava is a root vegetable that is roughly 2 inches wide and 8 inches long with brown fibrous outside and a purely white internal flesh. The other name for cassava is yucca, manioc, mandioca, cassava, and tapioca. It's a meal that is high in energy. It also exhibits a very effective hectare level carbohydrate production. It also have sucrose, glucose, fructose, and maltose which are present in roots. There are also sweet and bitter kinds of cassava. It is also contain fibers depending on the variety and the age of the root. It is also have a lipid content that range from 0.1% to 0.3%. The levels of the calcium, iron, potassium, magnesium, copper, zinc, and manganese are on par with those of many other legumes. As for the coconut husk, it is a fibrous outer covering of a coconut that is roughly 5 cm thick, which is one of the potential fiber source for alternative feed. It has high levels of lignin, cellulose, and hemicellulose, which are found in coconut husk. It contains 42.9% lignin, 32.469% cellulose, and 22.456% hemicellulose. Besides, the macronutrient content of coconut husk is high. As for the Napier grass, the Napier grass is a useful tropical grass which have the highest yield. It is a very adaptable species that may be grown in a variety of environments and agriculture systems, including dry or wet climates, smallholder or industrial agriculture. It is a useful fodder that is widely used in cut and carry system throughout the tropics. As for the nutrient of the Napier grass itself, where and when a crop is planted affects the amount of crude protein it contains. The yield of dry matter rises as grass ages, but the yield of crude protein falls. It is caused by the rapid buildup of cell wall carbohydrates during the advanced stage of growth, which dilutes the crude protein content of forage crops. The Napier grass has a range of 4% to 20.4% crude protein on average. As for the methodology itself, this is a ratio designation and formulation for chicken feed pellet. For the designation, we have used 5 designation which can be differentiated by ratio. As for ratio 1, we start with the 40% weight for cassava and 30% weight for coconut husk and Napier grass, and is increased by 10 for cassava for the other ratio, and decrease 5% weight for the other ingredient, which is coconut husk and Napier grass. As for the flowchart, this is the overall process for conducting the chicken feed pellet production. The first one is ingredient selection and mixing. After mixing, we go to the grinding and size reduction, and then go to the conditioning and moisture adjustment, the pellet production, cooling of the pellet, and the testing method, which in this project I have two types of testing, which is inside the lab and outside the lab. For inside the lab, we have moisture content, ash content, lipid content, protein content, and carbohydrate content. As for the outside the lab, we have the chicken growth, which we can observe the characteristic of the chicken, which is from the growth, the weight of the chicken, and the height of the chicken itself. As for the expected result, the development of a chicken feed pellet using cassava with coconut husk and Napier grass as a newly formulated chicken to substitute the common corn and mixed chicken feed pellet. Several methods are evolved to analyze the characteristic of the chicken feed pellet, such as compressive strength, ash content, and moisture content. There are several methods to analyze the nutrients, which is lipids, fiber, protein, and carbohydrates. All the results obtained from all the method testing will be calculated while using formula. The growth of the chicken also involves observing the effectiveness of the chicken feed pellet at the chicken at real time. All the results obtained from the chicken involved will be recorded according to the parameter involved. So it is expected that the chicken feed pellet will produce higher and can substitute the main ingredient for producing chicken feed pellet. As for the conclusion, uh, this study aims to give the alternatives for chicken feed pellet without using the corn. So for this project, we use cassava crops. We enhance it with coconut husk and napier grass, which these two ingredients will support the main ingredient, which is cassava, to cover the lack of another nutrients to make it balanced. So as for the method itself, we use many testing method to ensure that the chicken feed pellet have the nutrients that we needed for the chicken to grow, and also for the chicken growth. We do it the chicken growth because we want to see the effectiveness of the chicken feed pellet itself. So we can assume that the chicken feed pellet becomes successful if the chicken can uh, grow if the chicken can grow well. Okay. So for the final conclusion, I hope that the chicken feed pellet will produce commercially to at least can uh, substitute or as a new alternative for the commercial chicken feed pellet that have at the market right now. So that's all from me. Thank you.